Caylee Anthony is missing and her mother, Casey, is behind bars. That much we know for sure. But the details around Caylee's disappearance have proven to be sketchy at best. Here is what we know about this case. June 9th, 2008, family members say they saw Caylee Anthony at their house. Casey Anthony, the mother, claims that this was the last day she saw her daughter. According to Casey, she dropped Caylee off at the Sawgrass apartment complex with a babysitter named Zenaida Gonzalez. Casey says when she returned to pick up her daughter, she was gone. Investigators have not been able to confirm that the babysitter even exists. June 15th, Casey's grandmother, Cindy, says that she saw her granddaughter, Caylee. 1 month later, July 15th, Caylee is finally reported missing by Cindy Anthony. Cindy is the one who places 3 911 calls that day, and in one of them, she says a car that was driven by her daughter Casey smells like it had a dead body in it. The next day, July 16th, Casey Anthony is arrested for child neglect and accused of lying to investigators. July 18th, police seize a shovel that Casey borrowed from a neighbor, and investigators dig through Cindy Anthony's backyard where 2 cadaver dogs had showed some interest. However, they found nothing. July 22nd, Casey Anthony's bond is set at $500,000, an extraordinary amount for the crime she is charged with. A prosecutor says the case may be a homicide, and an investigator testifies that Casey's car smelled like a decomposing body. Casey is called by the police, quote, a person of interest. That same day, Cindy Anthony says she received a tip that a woman saw Caylee, little Caylee, boarding a plane to Atlanta. And that brings us to right now. Joining us live in Florida tonight is former homicide detective Ted Williams, who's been live on the scene investigating this case. Ted, I understand, among other things, today you talked with some of Casey's neighbors. What'd you learn?
Yes, I did, Megan. One of the things that we've learned in trying to put some kind of a face to Casey is that she was a well-liked high school student, that she was in student government, and that she was an excellent cheerleader, from what I can understand, at the high school in which she attended.
You know, one of the other things, Ted, that we're hearing from some of her friends, according to the police, is that this mother, Casey, is, quote, a pathological liar. And you heard the local reporters say that's what the police are saying to her even now, saying they're done talking to that mother because they think she's a pathological liar. That from police. You had the same observation after doing your investigation down there.
Oh, absolutely. The thing about it is that the law enforcement is turned off to Casey because what they see is someone who is attempting to manipulate their investigation, someone who's willing to talk to them when she says she's going to talk to them. When they get ready to talk to her, all of a sudden they can't or she won't open up to them. And the information that she gives them, they check it out, and it has not proven to be accurate. There's, as you know, information that Casey has talked to her brother on the phone about someone she worked with by the name of Juliet. And she's also talked to him about the use of a cell phones that she had, cell phones that she's lost. Well, just think about it. She's not telling law enforcement this. Casey is no dumb person. She realized by now that law enforcement is clearly taping her conversations in jail. So she's giving out whatever information that she wants to give, but it's a cat and mouse game that you can see that Casey is playing with law enforcement.
Ted, how extraordinary is that? Because now she's claiming that someone called her on the day the grandma called and made the 911 calls reporting the child missing. She says someone called her from a private number. That's how it read on her cell phone. And that when she talked to that person, and then she also talked to her daughter Caylee. That's what she claims on the phone call released tonight to her brother. And she also claims her cell phone is going to show many calls between her and this alleged babysitter. Cops have the cell phone. They'll get to the bottom of that one way or the other, presumably.
Megan, it appears as though that this is a figment of Casey's imagination. First of all, law enforcement, I'm sure by now, has checked out all of the various cell phone leads. But let's just go back to June 15th when we find that this was the first call that Cindy, the mother, put into law enforcement.
July 15th.
Just think about it. Casey lives in the home. She had been living there. Now, it is highly unlikely that the family would not know the name of a babysitter. The question is, does this babysitter exist? I would think not, pursuant and based upon everything that we now know.
Yeah, the grandmother, Cindy, was on Fox and Friends last week and said she'd never met Zenaida, but that she believed in her because Casey said she existed the same way she believes in God, even though she's never seen him. Ted Williams, great job. Thanks so much, Ted.